And he's shown over the last few games, or maybe more than that, that he's pretty good when he gets a mismatch on a shooter. He went up in the last series and guarded Middleton really well on, when there'd be a breakdown, and he'd end up way out on the floor on those guys. And I thought he did a decent job on some of those guys tonight. Just really good reactions.
Left side, fifth row, Nick.
Arash Madani with Sportsnet, coach over here. Golden State down 17, down 18 to Portland in the Western Conference Final. They were able to come back and win. They never really got ignited tonight. How were you able to make sure they didn't go on their trademark runs?
Well, I think the big thing is you gotta continue to play defense all throughout the game, even though you're trying really hard sometimes, and they'll come down and they'll make you look silly sometimes. They'll hit cut, boom, layup, and you're just like, man, what happened? How did that happen fast? And we just said that some of those breakdowns will happen. We need our weak side to be good. We were close a few and just didn't rotate on a few of those. But you take it out and you go back down and you try to answer. You get a shot and you try to answer, and you try not to have any droughts on offense, because their ability to score quick. I think, again, as I kept saying in the Milwaukee series, offense is really important for us here, taking care of the ball and getting shots and getting some to go through the net. Because if they take it from me, they're down the floor in a hurry, probably spraying for a three. And if they're playing off the rim all the time, they're coming downhill fast at you, and either at the rim or spraying.
Right side in the back, Tim.
Nick, Tim Reynolds with the AP. We've been talking all postseason about, Kyle gets criticized for not scoring, which is, sort of silly by now, but he just finds ways. And tonight it was, the leading the passes, taking charges against Boogie, things of that nature. Can you put into words how much his willing to sacrifice on literally any play at any time means in games like these?
Well, I think that one of the best things about this team is that you don't have to put a burden of 20 to 25 points on him. Because he's going to defend, he's going to lead the team, he's going to make those tough plays. He just instinctually does that game after game after game. And the scoring, it's great. It's I'm not going to say it's like icing on the cake. We need his scoring, and we certainly need his spacing and some of his head down drives where he makes contact and gets to the line. Those are really important. But again, I think this team can a lot of times absorb some nights where he just plays really well and doesn't score. He plays really well and doesn't score much. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right side, second row, Phil.
Hey, Nick. Phil Barber, Santa Rosa Press Democrat. I know that a building can't win a basketball game, but what did you feel in the arena tonight, and what do you think it did for your team? Well,
it gave us a couple nice bounces. I think we had a couple of shots go in that were kind of eye openers, let's say. But the fans obviously were great. They were loud. They were exciting. I think they were into it, and that's the way it should be, man. That's what home court is, and our fans deserve a bunch of credit for being a big part of that.
Left side, second row to Mark.
Nick, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Knowing Pascal Siakam's story and how he was discovered in Cameroon, but not really known to be a basketball prospect, even when Masai saw him 7 years ago, he didn't look like an NBA player. How is it possible for a kid with so little background to come up in this situation and do what he did tonight in this stage?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, right? First of all, but I think it was 2 years ago, Mark, when we got bounced out of the playoffs. We literally went in the gym the next day, and he was kind of like, listen, I need to learn how to shoot. I see that in playoff basketball, you better be able to shoot to be on the floor. So went to work that day on his shooting, and I think we changed some mechanics, but that's a very small thing. He took it and just absolutely ran with it, 2-3 times a day, every day, just trying to get that part of his game better, right? And that just shows, again, he was extremely hardworking, like beyond, just super committed to finding a place in this league and improving his game. But I've heard, a lot of people or him say some things this year, and they keep saying, "Are you surprised?" And he keeps saying, "No, this is what I've always envisioned for myself." So I think that's a powerful statement he makes as well. He believes in himself, and he went to work at it.
2 more questions in the middle, 4th row. Kayla.
Coach Kayla Gray, TSN. You guys took quite a few threes at the beginning of the game. Was that just taking what the defense was giving you, or were you trying to really establish you guys and your presence outside?
Yeah, I mean, we're always going to try to take what's there, and I agree with you. I said a couple times early in the game, I said, "Have we shot a 2 yet?" We shot. I kept asking, and Pascal had shot 1, but I think we'd taken 8 of our first 9 shots were threes, but they were open, and I love it because the one thing that we must do in this series, or that we need to do, is go for it, and that just showed our no hesitancy, confidence, and willing to just kind of go for it.
Final question, left side in the back, Stephen.
Stephen Lung, Sportsnet. It's back
Left
here.
side.
Hi, Stephen.
Danny Green really struggled in the Milwaukee series with his 3-point shooting, but it seems tonight he seemed to kind of get that monkey off his back. What did you see from him?
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that's been interesting is as the series change and a new team comes in and all those things, it certain guys it fits, and certain guys it doesn't in the rotation or even in the starting lineup, and it just, Milwaukee just wasn't his series, and it was probably good to get that one over with in his view, and kind of get a clean slate, and that's what we said. It's a new series, new team. Forget about what's happening, and you got to do that game to game now too, right? You got to understand that some guys aren't going to shoot as well every night or as worse every night. So each night we try to find who's going and who's got a chance, and try to keep those guys out there rolling.
Thank you, Nick.
All right, thank you.
The Raptors will be sending Siakam, Gasol, and Leonard. For the Warriors, Curry, Green, and Thompson. Coach Kerr is on his way. Mark, one question? Let him know you're asking follow-up. Steve, the left side, front row for Mark.
Steve, Mark Medina, Bay Area News Group. It looked like there were a lot of times throughout the game you guys were playing in mud. What do you think contributed to that
Playing
overall?
what?
Playing in mud?
Playing in mud?
Yeah. What do you think contributed to just the overall execution?
Well, their defense was great, and it wasn't our best night, but we just got outplayed. So Simple as that. Move on to the next one.
And how's Andre doing?
I think he's doing okay, but we'll have an update tomorrow.
Next question to John in the front row on the right.
John Dickinson, 95.7 The Game. What in particular made Siakam and Gasol so effective against you guys tonight?
Well, Siakam was brilliant. I mean, he was hitting shots from everywhere. He hit 4 threes. He'd been struggling from the three-point line in the last couple of series, so he got that to go. And I think actually I'm wrong on that. He had 2 threes, but Gasol we left a couple times early in the game and didn't rotate. We just gave him a couple of dare shots and he knocked him down. So, there's gonna be some openings. Those guys made their plays, made their shots. The biggest thing for me was our transition defense was just awful, and that's the game. That's the number one priority when you play Toronto. You have to take care of their transition, and we gave up 24 fast break points. We turned it over 17 times, so that's the game, really. The other stuff, guys are going to make shots, miss shots. They're going to have good games. They're going to have bad games, but it's kind of the key points that you can take care of that are the most important, and we didn't take care of that transition.
Last row on the right side to Tim.
Steve, Tim Reynolds with the AP. I know you guys have been through long breaks before, and with all credit to the Raptors defense, of course. Did you feel like rust was in any way a factor for you guys tonight, not playing for a week and a half?
It doesn't matter one way or the other. So if we had won, the story would have been that we were well rested. So, but we lost, so we were rusty. So it doesn't matter.
Anthony, go ahead. Right side.
Anthony Sider with The Athletic. What did you think of DeMarcus in his first game back? And is there a possibility you're thinking about maybe increasing his playing time moving forward?
I thought DeMarcus did a really nice job, made some great passes. We could run some offense through him. It's so early in the process for him. He played 8 minutes, and I thought his minutes were good, but it's a huge adjustment to play after a 6-week, 7-week absence, especially at this level in the NBA Finals against a team that's pretty fast already. So I thought he did really well, and we'll look at the tape and we'll see what we decide to do with his role going forward.
Left side, Tim Kalkami.
Steve, Tim Kalkami, The Athletic over here. You've played against these guys. You know how long and athletic they are. But was it a little bit of a shock to the system, you think, for your guys offensively to play against that kind of...
2 guys were missing, including Kawhi in Oakland. He didn't play. And then I think Steph missed the game up here. Other guys were missing. So it's going to be really good for us to have a game on tape where we can really pick it apart and see what we can do better. I thought we made a good effort in the second half, got back in the game. Our guys did some good things, but made too many mistakes to actually go ahead and win the game.
Left side, second row, Steve.
Radio coach. Michael Pina, SB Nation. Kind of jumping off that question, what problems does Toronto's defense pose that you haven't seen in this postseason run and even in the last 4 finals runs that you've been on?
I don't know that I can sit here and compare them to, to every playoff team we've played, but they're very long and athletic. They're tough. They get after you. And, they play well together. They got a lot of versatility. I think they're actually a lot like our team. They can switch and guard different positions and that sort of thing. And so I thought they did a really good job. They made some big shots. Danny Green's 3 at the end of the half, contested right in front of their bench, was a big one. Siakam made a 3 out top, right down the stretch. So the game went from, I think, 2 or 4 to 10 at the end of the half. And then they made a couple other big ones in the second half. So you give them credit. I thought they played a great game. They deserve to win, and we got to play better if we're gonna beat them.
Left side in the back, on the side.
Steve, Ryan Gorsey, San Francisco Examiner. early on when they were not giving Clay any open looks and they were really sort of making life difficult for Steph. How much does, say, a Kevin Durant floater or a Kevin Durant spot up jumper change the offensive dynamic at that point for you guys?
Again, I'll go back to my earlier answer. It doesn't matter until he's out there. So if he's out there, he's pretty good. So, but if he's not out there, we play with the guys we have, and we've got enough. We've won the last 6 games without him, 5-6 games. So we have enough, but you play with the guys who are healthy, and you go. So we'll see what happens.
Final question, right side in the back, Dan.
Dan Devine, The Ringer. To that point about having enough, you went, I think, 11 or 12 deep pretty early in the game. But some of those lineups in the beginning of second quarter, beginning of fourth quarter, kind of fits and starts you maybe because of DeMarcus coming back. What did you see out of your depth today? Do you feel confident that this is another series where you can and will need to play a lot of guys?
Yeah, our bench was great. You know, Jonas hit a couple threes. Quinn Cook came in, did a nice job. And, you know, the way we've played our bench, since Kevin and DeMarcus have been out, we play a lot of guys, but they don't play big minutes. So we're trying to find combinations. We're trying to find guys who can step out on the floor for a few minutes, make a shot, make a play. And I thought the bench did a fantastic job tonight. They were really good. They kept us in the game. But again, give credit to Toronto. They played a great game. They made a lot of shots, difficult shots. And our transition defense and turnovers, that stuff, it's really hard to overcome, especially on the road. So we got to get better with that. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Steve. Gasol is coming up shortly. Raise your hand, please. I want to ask a question. Second row on the left, second row on the left, Mark.
Mark Schwartz, ESPN. I think people who don't know Pascal Siakam's game might have been a little bit surprised to see him score 32 points in his first ever NBA Finals appearance. What was it about who he is and what he's got that allowed him to perform on this stage that well?
He does a great job of attacking those gaps, using his body, attacking the angles that the defense is giving you. He can go both ways. I just like when he plays that aggressive.
But given his improbable background and his lack of experience in this game,
that's not important. Like you're playing a game of basketball. You know, whatever happened in the past happened. You know, I think having the mindset of going for it and knowing that it's going to be okay, your teammates have your back, your teammates believe in you. That's all that matters, and he knows that.
4 rows back in the middle, Kayla.
Mark, Kayla Gray, TSN. I mean, you've always been one to look for an extra pass, but in this game, you're a little bit more comfortable with going for that 3, and a lot of the other guys as well. Was there something that opened up for you guys? Maybe extra passes that opened things up in terms of good looks? It seemed as though that worked for you guys on offense.
Well, they were blitzing Kawhi on a pick and roll and allowing the middle of the floor open, or they were switching early on the offense, and we did a good job of moving that ball and finding. I still think we can do a better job on it, but that was good enough. I still think that we can do a much better job defensively than we did tonight on stretches. I thought the second half we improved our rebounding, and we didn't allow, I think, as many second chance points as we did in the first half. So overall, happy.
Left side, front row, Steve.
Steve Ashburn at NBA.com.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr labeled them as dare shots, opportunities you had where they didn't rotate to you and you had basically uncontested shots. Do they feel like you're being dared to make those kind of shots? And how does making those versus not making those early in a game affect your game as it goes on?
If you open, you got to shoot them. They're not there. Like you open, you shoot them. And then we go from there. If they go in, great. If not, you keep taking them with confidence.
Right side, fifth row. Dan.
Hey, Mark. Dan Wecke with the Los Angeles Times. You've played a lot of big games in your career, but you've never been on this stage. Were there moments tonight where you were able, even for a blink, able to reflect and be like, I'm in the NBA Finals? And what was that like personally for you to be able to be on this stage?
No, my brain doesn't function that way. You out there, you're playing basketball like you did your whole life, and this kind of where it's the most fun. You got lock in, not allow. When they make a couple of shots, tough shots or mistakes that you make defensively, kind of rattle you a little bit and frustrate you. You gotta stay poised during the whole game, so your brain can't go anywhere else but every possession.
Last question on the left side, fourth row. Michael.
Nice.
Mark, Michael Grange from Sportsnet. What you said when you notice early that they are going to be very aggressive, trapping, sending a second defender at Kawhi. How does your brain function at that point? What signal gets sent to you?
Well, if you watch the previous series against Portland, they did that with Damian Lillard and CJ. So we assumed that there was a chance they were going to blitz Kawhi. So we were understanding the spacing that we were going to have and what kind of shots were going to be open, what kind of rotations they were going to do. Now we got to still improve in some areas and spacing and moving out of that. But overall, I thought we did a decent job.
Were you conscious of trying when they did switch, trying to take a smaller guy down to the rim a little bit more than you have previously in the playoffs?
Yeah, and I thought that the guys did a good job of finding me in the post. The 2 or 3 times that I went down there, and it went well.
Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
Clay is on his way next. Questions for Clay, please raise your hand. Left side in the fourth row again. Michael.
Clay, Michael Grange from Sportsnet. Whenever you're ready. Over here, Clay. Defensively, you looked like you were pretty successful in limiting Kawhi Leonard. What was your thinking or strategy regarding that, and how do you think the Raptors were able to take advantage of that, of whatever that strategy was?
I mean, Kawhi didn't have his best game to standards, but other guys stepped up. I mean, Siakam obviously had the game of his playoff life. Give him credit, running the floor. So we'll have to get back on defense next game and really limit their transition points, make them beat us in the half court. And yeah, we did a good job limiting Kawhi, but it's not Kawhi Leonard, and it's the Raptors. So we'll go back to the drawing board and see what we can do better for Sunday.
Thank you.
Other questions? Second row here on the left, to Mark.
Clay, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Steve mentioned that you guys are not that familiar with the Raptors. You don't see them a lot. How surprising was what Siakam's athleticism enabled him to do in transition tonight?
I mean, he's very long and athletic. He's one of the better finishers in the paint in the game. So I know we'll step up with the challenge on Sunday to limit his opportunities. which a lot of them came in transition because he was sprinting the floor. But yeah, we're not very familiar with this team, but that's no excuse. You know, it's still got to come out here, and our goal was to get one, and it's still on the table for us. So I know we'll respond like the champions we are.
Left side, fifth row, Arash.
Clay, right here on the aisle. Arash Madani with Sportsnet. You guys, your DNA as a team is to ignite with big runs, points and bunches. You weren't able to do that tonight at any stretch. Why do you think that may have been?
I mean, we cut it to 3 with about 7 minutes left, or 8, 9 minutes left, whatever it was, and you know, give their defense credit. We didn't get too many transition opportunities, and we're our best when we're running and playing with this type of randomness that kind of has teams scrambling. And it was there a little bit tonight, but like I said before, our goal was to get one. So we got some tape now, and we'll go to the drawing board, and we'll come back and be much better on Sunday.
Any other questions? Thank you, Clay.
There was one guy doing it. But it was a little teeny thing. It wasn't him. But
Draymond is on his way. Number 3, the gentleman behind you in the black suit and white shirt. We'll start off with number 3. You want a question? Yeah. You want fries? Start on the right side, midway in the back. On the outside there, Draymond.
Draymond, Dan Feldman, NBC Sports. What did Pascal Siakam do to give you guys so much trouble tonight?
I think he played an amazing game, obviously, but he got out in transition. A lot of our transition D was horrible, and I let him get in the rhythm in the first half, first quarter really. So I got to do a better job of taking his rhythm away, and I will. But he had a great game, but that's on me.
Given that it was his first finals game, did it surprise you that he was so aggressive?
No. Different people react differently in different situations. So, no, I don't. But like I said, I got to do a better job of taking them out the game.
Left side, row 2 to Mark.
Draymond, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. You know the league so well, and Siakam's a guy who sort of came quickly from Africa, hadn't played the game very long. What kind of improvement did he show tonight from other times that you've seen him in an NBA game?
Really the only time I've ever really played him was last year. I played him the second time we played him this year. I think I probably played 16 minutes or something like that. I was just coming back from injury. You got to take your hat off to him. Regardless of this game, you still have to take your hat off to him, even before this game, of what he's been able to accomplish this year. He's become a guy. And so, you got to – he put a lot of work in to get there, and I respect that. But like I said, I got to take him out of this series, and that's on me.
Sixth row on the right side.
Robert Littal, BSO. Defensively, you guys were very aggressive with Kawhi Leonard, but that did open up some other things for the others on the Raptors. What are some things that you feel that you guys can do better in Game 2 defensively to kind of shut down the others beyond Kawhi?
I think we got to do a better job early on. Like, we gave Siakam a couple wide open threes. We gave Gasol wide open threes, and, there was no rotation. And so, you get guys those type of shots, they get comfortable, and it's a different beast. So I think we did a good job on Kawhi. We got to keep that up, but we have to do a better job on everybody else as well. So, our rotations got to be better. We got to fly around a little bit more, and we got to stop them from getting out in transition.
Left side, front row.
Steve Ashburn on NBA.com. What effect, if any, did it have that this series started on the road and the atmosphere out there? And I'm wondering also, what is it about your team that if it's the playoffs, sooner or later you guys take care of your business on the road?
I think it's obviously a different feel. We've always started the finals at home, but we're relishing this opportunity. At the end of the day, you got to come on the road and win one. Thanks. That's still the mission. We got to win one game on the road, and I like where we are. We didn't play very well tonight at all. And, we still had a chance the entire game. It was a great atmosphere. Not that, this is a team, a city, a country that hasn't seen the finals ever here. So, we expect it to be a great atmosphere, and it was. But we can still play better, and I know we will.
Left side on the outside to Tim.
Tim Calhoun, the Athletic, kind of picking up on that. Draymond, obviously they're very impressive both ways, but did you feel like you guys might have not figured some things out, but worked some things out as this game went along? Did you feel better at the end than you did at the beginning?
Yeah, number one, we got a little conditioning back. Start that game, it was a bit rough after 9-10 days off. But, I think we just got a better feel for them. Like I said, this is a team that we really haven't played. The first time we played them, Steph or I and myself didn't play. Second time we played them, Kawhi didn't play. So this is essentially our first time playing this team. Now that we got a feel for them, we got a tape to watch. We know what we can do better. I like where we're at, especially, like I said, the way the game went tonight. We always had a chance, and we didn't play very well at all. So, you leave this game feeling as good as you possibly can feel, knowing that, yeah, we lost, but I think we figured some things out, and we'll be better next game.
Left side, midway in the back, Mark.
Hey, Draymond, Mark Medina, Bay Area News Group. Draymond, you've often mentioned in the past when things aren't going your way as a team that Kevin can often, be the ultimate trump card. What things were difficult specifically without him tonight?
I think, number one, we turned the ball over 17 times. They got 17 points off those turnovers. One of the keys coming into the game was to stop them in transition. You turn the ball over that many times, they're going to get out in transition. So, yeah, you usually do have Kevin there to throw the ball to, but I don't necessarily think the problem was our offense outside of the turnovers. We just got to be better all around the floor, and especially on the defensive end. And that
Left
starts
side
with
in
me. So
Sorry.
we'll be better.
Sorry, Draymond. Left side in the back.
Hey, Draymond. Just wanted you to talk a little bit about that post-game scuffle between you and Drake.
You got a question about basketball? It wasn't really a scuffle because I didn't hit him and he didn't hit me, or I didn't push him and he didn't push me. We talked. We barked a little bit, but I wouldn't necessarily consider that a scuffle. Not really what I personally would consider a scuffle.
Thank you, Draymond. Let's go to the front row here. Way in. Front row. Pascal, front row in the middle.
Melissa Hernandez here from After London. Pascal, how does it feel to have the entire continent supporting you, especially being the first Cameroon player and in the NBA Finals?
I think it's amazing. It just shows the growth of the continent, Cameroon, and just basketball in Africa in general, and kind of being at this stage and representing the continent is amazing, man. I feel blessed, and I just want the game to continue to grow in Africa, and for kids to see this, and hopefully it inspires them.
Left side, midway back.
Louis Zatzman, Raptors Republic. Pascal, the last few rounds there was incredible length on the floor on you and as help defenders. Did it feel like there was more breathing room in the paint for you tonight?
I don't know. I'm not really able to tell, but I think for me it's just in transition, kind of running and whatever basket I can get, easy baskets at the rim, I try to do that. So yeah, to answer your question, I don't really know like if there was a difference, but for me it was just taking whatever the defense gives me.
Left side, Rash.
Pascal Arash Medeni with Sportsnet. Warriors come in, they've been through the finals before. There were some people wondering how would the Raptors handle the stage, how would they handle the moment. How do you think you guys responded tonight?
I think we did, pretty good job at home. I mean, the fans was amazing, man. I just want to say that from coming out, from warm up to the end of the game, the support and going crazy. I never seen anything like that. Just happy to be a part of it. And I think for us, we just we know the team we're playing. We're playing an amazing team. They're the champions, and we just got to be ready. We got to be ready. We won game one. We came out with a lot of it was really aggressive on defense and trying to make it tough for the players to find open shots. But we know that it's game one, and they're gonna come out. They're gonna make adjustments, and we gotta be ready for that.
Into the middle, fourth row, Kayla.
Pascal, Kayla Gray, TSN. Maybe we can chuck it up to your soccer background, but a lot of speed out there tonight, particularly when you're matching up against Draymond Green. What helped free things up for you?
I think obviously getting some easy buckets in transition. Something that I haven't really been able to do all playoffs, and I think just being able to run and getting easy baskets at the rim, and then from there just playing, just playing whatever the defense gives me. That's why I always say kind of play off of that and whatever is open, just taking them with confidence and believing in myself.
Right side on the aisle, 4 rows back.
Pascal Alexandre Tournier de RDS, tu as connu ton meilleur match des séries avec une performance de 32 points, mais collectivement, de quoi es-tu le plus fier de la performance de ton équipe ce soir?
Je pense qu'en défense, on a fait un bon travail avec les joueurs qu'ils ont et essayer de les contenir. Et je pense qu'on c'était
vraiment, on a fait un bon travail et on doit continuer comme ça si on veut avoir une chance de gagner tous les soirs.
Third row,
Pascal,
left-hand side.
Paul Antunes, ESPN Brazil. Put it in here. Did you guys kind of make a concerted effort there to come out really strong in the second half? Because the Warriors have had some like legendary third quarters here. They seem to really take it up a notch, and it seemed like you guys really kept the metal to the pedal there.
I think, obviously it's known that, they always come out halves and they put pressure on you. And I think we knew that. And I mean, obviously tonight was able to stop them. But, we know that it's a point of emphasis and we know we got to come out of halves, in general. We can't have slow starts or slow halves.
Left-hand side in the aisle to Jackie.
Jackie McMullen, ESPN. Pascal. I wonder if you can try to put in perspective for us this incredible trajectory you are on from when you joined the NBA and wouldn't even take a three-pointer to now having the kind of game you had tonight on such a big stage.
I think, man, it's amazing. It's just it just proves that, if you put the work in, man, and it's something that is so cliche most of the time, but that's the story of my life. Just going out there every single night, working hard to get to this level, and knowing that I have so much to learn and I have so much room to improve and grow. I think that's what makes it fun. And for me, just kind of falling in love with the game and wanting to get better and wanting to learn. Moments like this definitely, shows that I'm going to continue to be myself, continue to work hard, and I have, so much room to improve.
Right-hand side, 5 rows back on the edge.
Olivier Paradis-Lemieux, Radio-Canada. Pascal, tu as connu vraiment surtout un excellent troisième quart. Est-ce que tu peux me décrire un peu les sensations justement à ce moment quand un peu tout semblait te réussir?
Je pense qu'en ce moment, comme je dis toujours, c'est d'essayer de prendre ce que la défense me donne et quand tu sens que tout entre, ça te donne de la confiance, bien sûr. Mais pour moi, c'est juste de garder mon tempérament et de continuer à jouer, de ne pas jouer trop vite. Je pense que c'est ça l'important pour moi, en fait.
Last 2 questions in the middle, 5 rows back.
Armel Kamdem, Samedi Sport. Pascal, venant du Cameroun, précisément de Douala, est-ce que tu aurais pu imaginer marquer 32 points en finale de NBA?
Tu es Camerounais?
Bien sûr.
I like that. L'accent. Je pense que ça fait vraiment plaisir. Et pour moi, je ne pouvais pas vraiment imaginer être à ce niveau-ci. Ça prouve juste que le travail paye. Et je pense que pour moi, c'est de continuer à être cette personne-là qui prouve à tous les Africains, à tous les Camerounais que c'est possible d'arriver à ce niveau et c'est possible de faire des performances comme ça. Donc, pour moi, je continue à rester calme, mais aussi sachant qu'il y a toute une nation qui me supporte, tout un continent qui est là, qui me regarde, et ça fait vraiment plaisir.
Last question, second row on the left to Mark.
Pascal, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. When you were 18 years old, about 6 years ago, had someone told you that in your very first NBA Finals game, you'd put up 32 points, what would you have said to that person?
I mean, probably that it was crazy. At that time, I don't even know if I really dreamed of being at this level. I couldn't even think about this moment because it wasn't reachable for me. But I think once I got to the point where I felt like I had a chance, I put everything forward and I just worked really hard. Obviously with the help of a lot of people, my family, everyone, the Raptors organization, all the guys that I work out with this summer, Rico Hines, so many people. We just continue to put the work in and prepare for times like this. I think when I was 18 years old, I didn't think of it, but once I got to believing that it was possible, I put everything that I had to be at this level.
You told Doris Burke that this was for your dad. What do you think your dad would think about how far you've come?
I think it's a question that I ask myself every single day, and I wish I had the answer, and I know people always usually tell me that I know he's proud of you, and I kind of wanted to hear it from his mouth, and I think it would be really cool, but for me, like I always say, man, it's bigger than basketball. And every night that I go out there, I have a bigger purpose, and I play for something bigger than just basketball. And I think that's what makes it special. That every night I'm out there, no matter the result, no matter how many points I score, I'm playing for something bigger than myself.
Thank you, Pascal.
Oh my God.
Steph Curry's on his way. Questions, please. Go ahead. We're going to go to Monty, middle third row.
Monty Poole, NBC Sports Bay Area. Steph, what do you take from this game? This is the first time you guys have lost a game, one of a finals game. What are the good and bad things you take from this specific game?
And obviously the bad is we're down 0-1, but it's not the end of the world. New experiences for us all the way through, but we've proven our resiliency and ability to win games that we need to, and kind of answer the bell and learn from nights like tonight. So key call-outs or fast break points that they got, whether it was a make or a miss for us. A couple of sloppy turnovers that really didn't kill us, but just added to their momentum. And obviously Pascal had an amazing game. He pretty much found a bucket wherever he was at, and we got to do. All five guys got to do a better job of just being physical, being alert, and we'll be all right.
Left side in the back on the aisle. Go ahead, Nick.
And following up on that, this is the first time since Steve's been coach you guys dropped game one. What do you think changes, if at all, from a mindset perspective for y'all dropping into an early hole like this?
Nothing really. I mean, it was a great atmosphere out there. They obviously played well, but our confidence remains the same. And block out all the noise about how what these are first and this and that, and kind of the doubt around it, around our team. It's just come out and play hard, get game two, and take it from there. So I like the vibe I say it a lot, but I like the vibe that we had in the locker room in terms of everybody focusing on what they need to do differently, and the overall energy, bump that we need to have, and then go steal game two.
Right side, front row, Mark.
Hey, Steph, Mark Medina Barry News Group. You guys have often said when things aren't necessarily going your way that Kevin Durant's, an obvious bailout that can make things easier. Besides his obvious scoring, what other things are more difficult without him tonight?
KD is an all-time great player on both ends of the floor, so I could sit here and talk for days about what he adds to our roster. We've obviously proven that when he's out, we could have guys step up, and that's going to be the case until he gets back. So for us, I think the first half, after that 10-day break, it was a little bit sloppier than we might have thought, and a little bit more rust that we had to shake off. But we still had a chance to win in the fourth quarter, and they did what they're supposed to do on their home floor and close out the game. So I don't think it's that complicated. What we need to do differently is just play better, take away the easy buckets for them, and control the momentum a little bit better. And we're definitely capable of doing that, no matter who's out there on the floor.
Steph.
Left side, third row.
Pardon me. Paul Antunes, ESPN Brazil. When you see Siakam go 14 for 17 and Gasol 6 for 10, and then you got Van Vliet 5 for 8. Do you kind of live with that and just kind of tip your hat? Because you guys seem to do a good job kind of blitzing Kawhi, getting the ball out of his hands.
No, I'm definitely not smiling at him and saying, good job, guys. It's we can do things differently and a little bit better, be more physical on them, be more aware of where they are on the floor. Obviously, Kawhi is the nucleus of what they do, and like you said, we did a good job on him. We have to keep doing a good job on him. But especially early in the first half, we didn't rotate well enough, and just make them think a little bit more. They were really comfortable out there, stepping into open threes. A couple of miscommunications where almost like practice shots, and obviously they made them. So defensively, overall, we can do a lot better job, as well as some of the good things that we did.
Fourth row in the middle, Kayla.
Steph, Kayla Gray, TSN. I mean, outside of the break, you guys don't really have that much tape to work off of with this Raptors team. I mean, I know you're very familiar with Kawhi Leonard. Did you think that posed a challenge as well?
Yeah, I mean, the 2 games we had in the regular season, there was guys missing them both nights and what have you, but I'm sure they're in the same situation, not really expecting or knowing what to expect. So, at the end of the day, they outplayed us. Like, there's no other way to kind of say it. They did what they were supposed to do and took care of home court on the first game. And, no matter what, our sights were coming in, it's a long series, and to game 2 is an opportunity for us to right the wrongs and get a big win and go back home.
Final question, left side, second row, Mark.
Steph, on the left, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Draymond said the loss and Siakam was on him. He called Siakam, he said he's become a guy, meaning I respect his game. What did Siakam show you guys in this game that perhaps might have been even over what you thought he was capable of?
I mean, his motor's pretty much nonstop, so even if you feel like you're in transition, you're running shoulder to shoulder with him, he has another, gear he can get to that puts pressure on you in transition. He showed that, pretty much all season, but tonight, especially when he puts the ball on the floor, he's pretty composed, knowing what he's trying to do with it, and obviously great at finishing, no matter where it is around the paint. He knocked down 2 threes, which was big for him to keep the momentum going. But at the end of the day, like Draymond said, it starts with the one-on-one matchup, but you can't give him any dare shots, and you can't give him any straight line drives to the basket. And that's just an effort thing that we all can be more mindful of, because at the end of the day, it's not just going to be Draymond guarding him the entire game. So, he played well, and we got to do something about it.
Thank you, Steph. Kawhi is next. First question, left side, 4 rows back.
Kawhi, Mike Bond with Rolling Stone. They held you, pretty in check in that first half, but in the second you were able to open up a little more. What were they doing that was effective in the first half there?
Well, man, they did a good job both halves of, blitzing my pick and rolls, keeping the third guy in the back, not letting me play one-on-one. It's really like tilting their defense. That's pretty much it, just not letting me get no easy looks, bringing 2 to the ball, and if I get by, that third guy's coming. I let, my teammates play well tonight, so, it's a team game. If they're going to play like that, then, guys are going to play well, get wide open shots.
Fifth row on the right side to Joe.
Joe Varden from The Athletic. Kawhi, everybody knows the Warriors have been in the last 4 finals. They've won 3, all that. What was your conversations like in the locker room the last couple of days leading up to this? Was there some sort of discussion about how they're human just like everybody else, or just trying to bring them down a level?
No, I mean, we don't have conversations like that. We know that they're human. I mean, they're a great basketball team, talented players, high basketball IQ players. You just got to go out there and compete, take the challenge. We know they're going to make, big shots, go on runs, and it's about just keeping your composure and keep fighting through. Don't put your head down when, players, Steph or Clay make big threes. Just keep playing.
Fourth row in the middle to Kayla.
Kayla Gray, TSN, got a great night from Pascal Siakam. Being on the floor with him, what did he add to the game for you guys tonight?
He played well on both ends of the floor. He got to the paint. He knocked down his shots, his wide open shots tonight. He was aggressive on both ends of the floor. Got his hands, deflections on a lot of basketballs tonight. Big block shots, big buckets. So he played well.
I've got to go back to the gentleman in the blue on the right side.
Robert Littell, BSO. You spoke about this a little bit earlier, but can you kind of talk about how your teammates really compliment you, especially when they are double teaming you so aggressively, and how do you, kind of go about your way of getting them going, and how that kind of really brings the crowd into everything?
Just keep being aggressive. We played. Teams throughout this playoffs playing similar defense. And I guess just learning from the experiences and guys being ready and just keep being aggressive and make sure I make the right play and don't try to be a hero out there. Just play basketball. And that's all I do.
Left side, fifth row, going to go to Arash.
Kawhi to your left here on the aisle. Arash Madani with Sportsnet. They got it to within 3. They got it to within 4 in the fourth quarter, and you guys were able to have an answer a couple of times. How were you able to do it to withstand them?
Like I said, don't get too down. They're a great basketball team. Just keep fighting, keep striving, don't give up, and just have confidence. Just have confidence in yourself that you're going to win the game. I mean, that's all you could do. Lay it out on the floor and see what happens.
Going to go to the right side, of 6 rows back.
Dan Feldman, NBC Sports. Before you succeeded so much in the finals, you weren't universally recognized as a star. Pascal Siakam wasn't an all-star this year. I'm wondering if you talked to him at all, or he talked to you about capitalizing on competing on this stage.
He doesn't need no prep talks. He's going out there doing it. He's not a guy that's shying away. He's very aggressive when he's on the floor. And when we talk, it's a group effort. You know what I mean? And hopefully everybody hears it and brings it to the game. Takes the knowledge when we all put in our knowledge and experience from past times, and that's all we could do. It's a team basketball game.
Any other questions? In the back on the left.
Kawhi, Jonathan Cho with Dia TV. Katie didn't play today. He may not be playing the next game as well. At the same time, are you preparing for him? Are you thinking about how to prepare for Kevin Durant if he does return during the series?
For sure. Whenever he does play or say he's going to be playing, then we're definitely going to have to, prep for him. He's another guy that could just score 30 points in his sleep. And, everybody know who he is, and for sure we're going to have to prep for him.
Thank you. That is all for this evening. Thank you very much.